I am going to let an AI write some poetry, and at the end of this video, I am going to perform it. Unlike most AI videos on YouTube, my goal is not to create random garbage, but to actually guide the AI into writing something beautiful. If this doesn't work, I will never publish this video. So, if you're hearing this, whatever poetry the AI wrote must have impressed me. Here's a teaser. They carry with them blessings and treasure, so can your dreams carry you, if you have the perseverance to see them through, like the tide itself, that relentlessly moves the sea and cannot be stopped by man, no matter how hard he may try. Now don't skip to this timestamp, or you'll miss all the fun. If you've watched my videos before, you know I love using the AI models in AI Dungeon. Of course, AI Dungeon is designed to be an open-world text adventure game where the AI provides story elements and you type in actions to control the story. It doesn't seem like the sort of thing that'll write poems for you, but it's built on a kind of cutting-edge software typically known as natural language processing. That's the same concept that Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and many more are competing to create the best versions of. Natural language processing is what lets a computer understand and synthesize words and sentences that are meaningful to the average person. Instead of computer code or long strips of ones and zeros, it lets computers actually read and write, well, natural language. Let's hop into AI Dungeon and show you exactly how this is going to work. As you may have guessed, we'll be using the custom mode here in AI Dungeon, which lets you write whatever you want. And to get it to write poetry, we would have to somehow prompt it with some amount of text to actually write it. So if you had said once upon a time, the story mode would generate something based on that prompt. The problem here is, even though it generates something, it says once upon a time there lived a man and his wife who had a daughter named Barbara, and it goes on and starts telling you the story. The problem with this, for what I'm actually going for, is it's essentially being my co-author. I write some text, the AI writes some text. I write some text, the AI writes some text. And that's not going to give us the sort of result of having the AI becoming a poet. So instead, I need to come up with a way to get the AI to write everything. So that's the first challenge. I want the AI model to be an author, not a co-author. For the AI to write an entire work, you would have to somehow convince the AI to start from the beginning of a story, not continue one that I'm writing. In our case, it would have to start from the beginning of a poem. Luckily, I've done this before, and AI Dungeon as a tool is powerful enough to follow our instructions if we word them well enough. To get this to work, I will essentially prompt the AI with specifications to elicit a specific kind of text that comes after it. In action, it would look something like this. I make a little preamble that says kind of what the AI should write, and then I just let it generate something. And as it generates, I don't add any more text and let it just continue to go. So I wrote a little preamble about how this is the first prize poem from the Nobel Poetry Awards in 2022, and it equates the act of growing up with sailing up a waterfall. It makes strong use of verbose language, and the metaphor is very compelling. And the AI generates something pretty cool. As I glide up through the air, the wind lifts my hair. As the river flows by, I am on a voyage to the stars, and the waterfall is my sail. So let the wind be my friend, and the water be my seas, my guiding hand, my rudder, and my will be my sails. The waterfall is my sail, sailing up through the night. A shooting star is my light, so let the wind be my friend, and the water be my seas, my guiding hand, my rudder, and my will be my sails. After hearing that, you might be thinking, Blibitry, you did it! The AI wrote a poem! An effective preamble does seem to be good enough to convince the AI to write something resembling poetry, but in my opinion, the AI will never be able to hold structure well enough to create something meaningful. And that's what poetry truly is. It's pure and condensed meaning. To get this to really work, there is one more feature we're going to have to take advantage of. I want to be in control of the poem, but without writing any poetry. So to do that, there's a bit of a trick. You see, AI Dungeon has this fancy little section for the author's note. Whatever you type in there gets entered in square brackets with author's note, colon, and then whatever you typed. That gets placed 3 lines above wherever the AI has to start actually writing something. Now, here's the key. The model behind AI Dungeon is trained to believe that it is the author. So any author's note is treated as like prior planning by the AI, so it's a great way to guide the text without actually writing the text. But the field where you actually do this in Remember is hard to get it actually working exactly how you want, partly because it gets entered 3 lines above, partly because to change it, it doesn't always refresh exactly when you click, and I would rather actually know what the AI is seeing. Luckily, I don't need to use this feature exactly to take advantage of what the author's note has to offer. Instead, I can literally just type one in, with square brackets, author's note, and some text manually, letting us do something like this.
Losing time, I'm fading fast. I just wanna make it last. Try to let go of the past. I close my eyes, embrace the blast. Sleepless nights and headaches stack. Restlessness to hell and back. What's my purpose? What do I grab? A slippery surface, a heart attack.
And again, I am essentially just talking to this AI like it were a human, right? I'm saying, ooh, write this. Now write this. Now write this. And I'm able to do this in plain language and just say, this is what needs to come next.
We're broken, it's tragic, we're not all elastic, but maybe there's magic, believe you could have it, and I know of sadness, the anxious and panic, the infinite vastness of all that is blackness.
And now, finally introducing The Tides of the Ocean, written by an artificial intelligence. Never give up, never surrender. To face the world with a purpose, your dreams will take you far if you have the faith to see them through. So, make your dreams come true with persistence and determination, just like the waves of the ocean howling across the vast and endless sea. So, you have come to me with your bright and shining vision of what lies beyond your world, just like the waves of the ocean. Each one brings seaborne riches to us. A little effort and what seemed impossible will quickly come within your grasp, just like the waves of the ocean which curl and crash upon the beach. So do your thoughts and dreams, like the foam upon the sea, just like the waves of the ocean. They carry with them blessings and treasure. So can your dreams carry you, if you have the perseverance to see them through, like the tide itself that relentlessly moves the sea and cannot be stopped by man, no matter how hard he may try. So your dreams, as they come to you, will just as relentlessly move you towards your goal. Like the tide itself, it keeps on moving and does not stop till it crushes everything beneath it. Keep on dreaming, keep on believing, keep on going, like the waves of the ocean. I thought this turned out to be a cohesive piece of writing. Certainly not competitive with what an actual poet can do, but this was 40 lines and 237 words that set out to tell a single message in a poetic form. I am impressed. The poem turned out better than I could have written, and certainly better than I could have written in 20 minutes. I'll put a link in the description of the unedited footage of getting the AI to write this poem. If you like this video, let me know in the comments. I probably sunk way more time than I should have into making it polished and fun, so let me know if you think it was worth it. Anyhow, Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.